In our circle, Eleanor Vance was famous for her loyalty. For me, she turned down countless advances from guys with old money and new, wanting nothing more than to spend her life with me. But at my own proposal party, the one that got away showed up and asked her, "If I crash your wedding, would you leave with me?" She looked him right in the eye and said, "I would." So I took a pair of scissors to the designer wedding dress I'd spent my entire savings on and tossed the ring meant to symbolize forever. My best friend, Marcus Thorne, ran over to stop me. "What the hell are you doing? That's your hard-earned money, man. Why are you doing this to yourself?" He snatched the scissors out of my hand and picked the diamond ring off the floor. "You're the kind of guy who's destined to be a kept man, but you insist on tying yourself to someone who's rotten to the core. My sister is the real prize, you know." Interested, it was our 5th year together. Eleanor and I were finally about to make it official. I'd secretly bought the dress and the ring, planned everything down to the last detail, and worked up the nerve to propose. But as luck would have it, the guests at the party weren't just our friends. Eleanor's best friend was acting strange. She was smiling at me, congratulating me, but her eyes were full of awkward pity. I didn't get it. Just as the event was about to kick off, Eleanor walked in with a handsome guy. "Wow, this is a serious setup. Looks like we're in for a good time tonight," the man boomed, his voice full of an easy confidence. I froze. It was the first time I'd ever seen Eleanor stand so close to another man, and the smile on her face was a kind of radiant I'd never witnessed before. "You must be Eleanor's boyfriend. It's nice to meet you. I'm Julian Hayes." He extended a hand, the perfect picture of a polished gentleman. The second I heard his name, it all clicked into place. He was Eleanor's great lost love, her one that got away. I'd heard the stories. They had been inseparable, the kind of couple people write songs about. Julian had once filled her dorm room with roses just because Eleanor had sung love songs to him at campus open mic nights throughout college. Their public displays of affection were legendary. They were that couple, the one everyone remembered, her most unforgettable years, her golden youth. It was all his. But after graduation, he fell for another girl and vanished without a trace. And that's when I met Eleanor. I found her in a pulsing downtown club, nursing a drink with a melancholy look on her face. Her cheeks were flushed, her eyes fixed on the dark liquor in her glass, as if it held all the answers. My friends kept nudging me, telling me she was checking me out. I didn't believe them at first, but then I caught her gaze, a quick, subtle glance that sent a jolt through me. My buddies started hyping me up, telling me to go talk to her. They said a guy with a face like mine had no business being single. Just as the embarrassment was about to swallow me whole, Eleanor made the first move. "I'm Eleanor. Can I buy a handsome guy like you a drink?" A wave of suggestive laughter went through my friends. They physically pushed me toward her. In an instant, the sadness in her eyes vanished. Before long, we were falling hard for each other. Eleanor was brilliant, and her family had serious money. The line of guys trying to date her was a mile long. I was just a regular guy with a handsome face. Eleanor knew the gap between our worlds was huge, and she fought her family to make our relationship public. She never asked me for grand romantic gestures. She didn't care about expensive surprises. She was different from other girls. She could be affectionate and needy, and she liked to be on, but she was never dramatic or manipulative. Even her best friend couldn't help but tease me about it. Talk about one man planting the tree for another to enjoy the shade. "Ethan, you really lucked out." Eleanor had this guy she was crazy about. She trained herself to be the perfect girlfriend for him, and you're the one reaping all the benefits. I never let comments like that get to me because, as people said, we were two completely different guys. Everyone is their own person in this day and age. Everyone has a past. Being possessive about it only makes you miserable. I never asked about her past. I only looked toward our future. What mattered was that she loved me now. 5 years in, she started dropping hints about wanting to make things permanent. I planned the proposal, thinking we were finally getting our happy ending. But reality was about to hit me like a freight train. Julian pulled me aside with a conspiratorial air. He handed me an elegant velvet box. "It's called the heart of a true love. I've had this necklace for years, never got the chance to give it to her. Eleanor knows it exists. I'd like you to give it to her today. It'll feel like closing a chapter for me." His sincerity was overwhelming. I had to admit, the guy was smooth, flawless even, a true gentleman, leaving no room for criticism. Giving me the necklace he originally bought for Eleanor was a masterstroke. It sent his message to her loud and clear without making him look bad. Even if people found out, they'd just think he was a class act. I calmly took the box and thanked him. It was just a gift, after all, nothing more. Julian was in the past. He clapped me on the shoulder, a meaningful smile playing on his lips. Eleanor's a great girl. You'd better take good care of her. And even though we have a history, don't you hold it against her. A real man doesn't sweat the small stuff. Almost all of Eleanor's friends knew Julian well, and they started cheering him on. Julian, you're as cool as you ever were, man. Julian's gaze went past me, locking onto Eleanor, who was standing nearby. You too, Eleanor. Don't be pulling that princess act anymore. Not everyone is going to put up with it. The comment hung in the air, charged with some unspoken meaning. Anyone with eyes could feel the weird tension. One by one, our friends found excuses to drift away, though they kept glancing back, not wanting to miss the drama. My best friend, Marcus, looked pissed and was about to say something, but I stopped him because I was also curious to see how Eleanor would respond. She feigned annoyance and turned her back to Julian. Her voice was laced with a playful complaint. When have I ever pulled a princess act? I've been a million times nicer to him than I ever was to you. Julian laughed. Oh, really? I guess it's my loss then. You think I should have appreciated it while you had it. Eleanor shot back, so hostile. We couldn't make it as a couple, but we can still be friends, right? It feels like there's a wall between us now. Julian held up his hands in a gesture of surrender. Don't even start. I don't have friends who just ghost people without a word. And stop saying things that could be misunderstood. My future husband is standing right here, and I don't want him to get the wrong idea. For every line Julian delivered, Eleanor had a comeback. On the surface, it looked like they were done, that there was no chance of them getting back together. But standing between them, I felt a knot tightening in my stomach. After 5 years, I knew Eleanor inside. This wasn't a rejection, this was flirting. Dinner was served, drinks were poured, and everyone was in high spirits. I caught Marcus's eye and gave him a subtle nod. He gave me an okay sign and quietly slipped out. I had planned this whole thing as a surprise, so most people thought it was just a regular party. I'd kept the proposal decorations low-key, wanting the reveal to be a shock for Eleanor. Maybe everyone had a little too much to drink. The whole table started goading Eleanor and Julian into a game of truth or dare. After a few rounds, Eleanor had won some and lost some, but every time she lost, she chose dare. Until the final round, Eleanor lost to Julian again. This time, Julian gave her only one option. You've done nothing but dares. Let's switch it up, or it's no fun. The crowd, hungry for drama, started cheering. This was the kind of juicy moment they'd been waiting for. Julian, who had been playing it cool all night, finally dropped the mask. His expression turned serious, his voice solemn, as he asked Eleanor, if I proposed to you right now, would you say yes? The question detonated in the room. The crowd erupted. This is it. This is how you play truth or dare. There's no way you forget years of love just like that. Come on, tell us, would you say yes? Eleanor's face flushed a deep crimson. She hesitated for a second, her eyes darting to me, filled with an emotion I couldn't read. Then, as if making a final, profound decision, she said with chilling earnestness, I would. The room exploded. Holy crap, she said it. I knew it. I knew you two weren't really over. Pulpos, pulpos, pulpos. The entire room was chanting for them. I sat there, caught in the middle of it all, feeling the air get thinner, the breath catching in my throat. A tremor started in my hands and spread through my entire body. Suddenly, I was the outsider. I mumbled an excuse about needing the restroom and fled the scene that was supposed to have been mine, my heart splintering. I sent a text to my best friend, Marcus Thorne, forget the stuff. My proposal just got hijacked. Marcus's call came through instantly. What the hell happened? I was gone for minutes. Don't even ask. I feel like the world's biggest joke right now. My voice cracked. Marcus's voice turned into a roar. I told you that son of a bitch Julian was bad news. Give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back up, and we're going to destroy him. Is that a good idea? All his friends are in there. Who cares? He's humiliating you in front of everyone. Are you in or not? I'm in. A few minutes later, Marcus burst back into the building, carrying a designer dress bag and a ring box, completely out of breath. Why didn't you take the elevator? I saw your text, and my blood started boiling. I would have kicked the doors in if I was in an enclosed space. Marcus panted. The moment I saw him, a sense of calm washed over me. He was the heir to one of Miami's biggest fortunes. He carried himself with an effortless authority. He wasn't arrogant, but he never, ever backed down from a fight. He kicked the door to the private room open. What's wrong with you people? Have a few drinks, and you forget how to act like decent human beings, he bellowed. What kind of sick game is this? You love watching someone get humiliated? And you, Eleanor? He spat, his eyes finding her in the crowd. Did you forget you have a boyfriend? Agreeing to another man's proposal? You've got to be kidding me. Pathetic. Marcus had a presence that commanded a room. The power that came with his name meant he never had to be afraid. His gaze shifted to Julian, and his expression turned to ice. And you pathetic lapdog? You thought just because I was quiet, you could walk all over my friend. Julian's confident smirk vanished, replaced by a flash of panic. He forced a placating smile. Marcus, man, we're just playing a game. Nobody takes it so seriously. My mistake. I just assumed anyone Eleanor dated would have a sense of humor. I didn't realize Ethan was so sensitive. I was furious. The guy was actually trying to flip this on me. Before I could speak, Marcus shot back. Oh, so now you're patting yourself on the back for your sense of humor? What kind of idiot wouldn't be pissed off if their girlfriend agreed to marry someone else? You're so magnanimous, you must enjoy being cheated on. By now, Eleanor was sobering up. She walked over. I was drunk. I wasn't thinking clearly. It was just a stupid joke. Marcus sneered. Oh, you were drunk? That's your excuse? You get so drunk you forget who your boyfriend is? If that son of a bitch asked you to sleep with him when you were drunk, would you say yes to that too, you? Eleanor was speechless. Marcus's words were venomous, and he spared no one, including me. He turned to me, his face a mask of disappointed frustration. And you? I told you, man, you're destined to be a kept man. But instead of going for the prime rib, you chose a meal that's gone bad. Her family is barely new money, and she's still hung up on someone else. This should have been a fling, nothing more. But you had to go and fall in love. I don't even know what to say to you. The Vance family was worth millions, but compared to the Thorne empire, they were small time. No one dared argue with Marcus. Eleanor tried to defuse the situation. She saw the box in my hands and quickly changed the subject. Ethan, what's that you're holding? I opened the box, revealing the exquisite, custom-made Vera Wang gown. For some reason, there was a pair of scissors inside. I remember you said that when I could finally afford this dress, you'd say yes to my proposal. But it looks like I was getting ahead of myself. Eleanor's eyes widened in desperation. No, of course not. Just ask. I'll say yes, I promise. I don't think so. Someone else already proposed to you tonight, didn't they? I said, the pain sharpening my voice. That was just a game. Why are you taking it seriously? But I was there, wasn't I? You said yes to another man right in front of my face. Did you ever stop to think about how I would feel? Put yourself in my shoes. If I had done that to you, would you have been okay with it? You can call me petty, possessive, whatever you want. I don't care. This is who I am. And I won't let you trample all over my dignity like this. Marcus gave me a thumbs up. I took the scissors and began cutting the dress I had poured my entire savings into shreds. I threw the diamond engagement ring into a nearby trash can. Eleanor stared, horrified, unable to form a response. Dude, that was your hard-earned cash. Marcus ducked into the trash can and fished out the ring, ignoring the ruined pile of silk and lace on the floor. I was about to tell him we should leave. He stopped me. Did you forget what we said when I came up here? I blinked, confused for a second. He grinned savagely. We're gonna wreck him. Is that really necessary? Let's just leave it. It's better for everyone, I said. Are you kidding me? Why should I let him off the hook? Do I look like I need to? If you're not going to do it, I will. I'll have my fun, and you'll be left stewing in your anger. Just think about it, man. He humiliated you. Can you really let that go? With that, Marcus lunged at Julian. He threw a brutal punch that landed square on Julian's jaw, wiping the look of shock right off his face. Images of the night flashed through my mind, and a cold rage began to build inside me. Let's do it. I joined the fight. Several people tried to intervene, but Marcus's voice cut through the chaos like a whip. If any of you want to get involved in this, feel free. The Thorne family is always ready for a fight. No one moved a muscle after that. Ethan, stop it. It was against and Julian was getting pummeled. Even though he was in the wrong, Eleanor couldn't stand to watch. "Get away from me," I roared at her. My shout stunned Eleanor into silence. In all our years together, I had never once raised my voice at her. This was the first time, and the shock was enough to make her forget all about Julian's predicament. Finally, we'd had enough. Julian was crumpled on the floor, too afraid to get up. The polished, gentlemanly facade was gone, replaced by a pathetic, ugly mess. "Ah, that feels good," Marcus breathed. "You phony piece of crap," I spat. "Next time you see either of us, you better walk the other way, or it'll be a lot worse than this." We swaggered out of the room. It was only then that Eleanor snapped out of her trance and scrambled to follow us. "Ethan, wait for me." Eleanor hurried to catch up, her face etched with apology. "I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad. He just hit me with that question out of nowhere, and my mind went blank." I looked at Eleanor's earnest face and suddenly felt completely drained. So that was her gut reaction, your true feelings just spilling out. Of course not. Julian is such a huge ego. If I had said no in that situation, it would have been a massive slap in the face to him. So to protect his pride, you threw mine on the ground and stomped on it? He only got words from me. You got me. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. The logic was so twisted, it was almost impressive. "So you're saying I'm a lucky one here, Eleanor? If you're not over Julian, I can step aside and let you two be together." Marcus pulled up in his McLaren, honking the horn impatiently. Eleanor didn't want him to leave like this. "Ethan, I've been drinking. Drive me home, and we can talk this through properly." Marcus leaned over from the driver's seat. "You look busy. Maybe you should go console your old flame. He's not just dealing with a bruised ego right now. He's probably in a lot of physical pain too." Marcus always knew exactly where to stick the knife. Eleanor was speechless. I turned to her. "We should break up. We've been together for 5 years. He shows up for one day, and everything falls apart like this. It's time to admit that we're not right for each other." Before Eleanor could answer, Marcus hit the gas, and we peeled away from the curb. "Why are you even wasting your breath on her?" Marcus grumbled. I knew he'd never been Eleanor's biggest fan. "You're the one who put the scissors in the dress bag, weren't you?" Marcus didn't deny it. He'd been hoping for a chance to sabotage my relationship with Eleanor. I asked him why he bothered to save the ring. He told me it was my own hard-earned money and there was no need to put on a show. "Then why didn't you stop me from cutting up the dress? It was worth at least times more than the ring. And a resold diamond isn't worth much anyway." Marcus froze. "Are you kidding me? Why didn't you say so sooner?" he yelled. "You're a multi-millionaire's kid. I figured you knew about these things." "What am I, Google? I know everything. And who the hell pays attention to the price of a wedding dress? Ethan, I don't even know what to do with you." He sighed. "With Eleanor, not only were you not getting a free ride, but you were paying for everything yourself. You're broke now, aren't you? Don't tell people you're my friend. It's embarrassing." In all my years with Eleanor, I'd always been painfully aware of the gap between us. To avoid being looked down on by our parents, I always pulled my own weight, and then some. I knew my place. If it weren't for Marcus, I would have had to swallow my pride and endure the humiliation tonight. "Thanks, man," I said, and I meant it. "Hey, don't get all sentimental on me. We're brothers, that's all that matters." Marcus thumped his chest. I was lucky to have a friend like him. After a moment of silence, he spoke again, a hint of hesitation in his voice. "So, do you really want to thank me?" I wasn't sure what he was getting at. It wasn't like him to call in a favor. "Look, I feel bad that you're suddenly in a tough spot financially. It's just, my family has a winning lottery ticket. You won it." I was taking a sip of water and promptly sprayed it all over the dashboard. "Dude, I think of you as a brother, and you're trying to become my brother-in-law." The lottery ticket Marcus was talking about was none other than his sister and my boss, Serafina Thorne. No wonder he was so eager for me to break up with Eleanor. So that was his endgame. "With your looks, you could have any sugar mama you want. Why were you so hung up on a girl like Eleanor? You're a good guy, Ethan. 4 years of college, plus the years since, have shown me you're not like the others. They all get close to me because they want something, but you've never asked me for a single thing. You taught me what real friendship is." Marcus's words took me back. I'd known he was rich from early on. We were dorm roommates. He wasn't like the stereotypical trust fund kids from the movies. He was easygoing and funny. He didn't have the latest gadgets or spend insane amounts of money. When I was broke, he was happy to eat cheap street food with me. He knew I had too much pride to accept charity, so he just met me where I was, always. I got a taste of his lavish lifestyle, and he got a taste of my broke college kid life. The day we graduated, he dragged me into his family's company before I even had a chance to refuse. We'd known each other for 8 years. Whoa, you're actually thinking about it. Does that mean my proposal has a chance? I laughed and punched him lightly on the arm. Does her sister know you're trying to sell her off? Besides, she's my boss. It would feel too much like I was being kept. It's just too weird. Forget it. I pictured her even more untouchable than Eleanor. I couldn't even handle Eleanor. How could I dare to dream of someone like Serafina? Oh, please. As if you weren't being kept by Eleanor. I'm telling you, it's your destiny to be a trophy husband. Just accept it. If you marry my sister, we'll still be brothers. We'll be family. Marcus argued, clearly annoyed. I was speechless. I was the one who just had his heart broken, but he seemed even more upset about it than I was. But I had underestimated the depths of human pettiness. A few nights later, something completely unexpected happened. Marcus called me, his voice urgent. He said I was all over Twitter. I immediately logged on. Some people can't even handle losing Gagami of truth order without getting violent, toxic, dumptious girlfriend for losing Gagami way to psycho. The posts were accompanied by a photo of Julian with a bruised and swollen face lying on the ground, next to a clearly flattering picture of me. Ugh, what a meathead. So his girlfriend can't even have male friends? This guy is trash. Let's expose him. Breaking up over a game is just an excuse to get out of any real commitment. So he sleeps with her for years and then dumps her? Not on our watch. Cancel him. To my horror, the likes and retweets were climbing at an astronomical rate. I had no doubt who was behind this carefully edited, out-of-context narrative. By morning, I would be infamous. Don't touch it. Let me handle this. Only we can fight this kind of fire with fire. A regular person wouldn't stand a chance, Marcus told me. He told me not to worry, that he'd have it all sorted out by tomorrow. I never doubted him for a second. Less than 2 hours later, the tide began to turn. I don't know what strings Marcus pulled, but the comments section was suddenly flooded with a new narrative. Wow, so he played the victim? The original story is completely different. Almost fell for it. Seriously, she has a boyfriend, and you ask her to marry you during a game? Just admit you're trying to steal someone's girl. If you ask me, a beating was getting off easy. If it were me, I would have broken his legs. I marveled at the power of money and influence. The internet is a dangerous place these days. One false accusation, and your life is ruined. Julian had tried to be clever, but it backfired spectacularly. In his bid for sympathy, he not only posted my photo, but also one of himself looking pathetic. My phone rang. The caller ID said it was Eleanor. I didn't know what she could possibly want. I hesitated for a long time before finally answering. Ethan, please, I'm begging you, call it off. Leave Julian alone. The online hate is destroying him. He's on the verge of a breakdown. I had imagined many reasons for a call, but pleading for Julian was not one of them. A sharp pain lanced through my chest. My voice turned to ice. Leave him alone? Did he leave me alone? If I didn't have a powerful friend, I'd be the one having a breakdown right now. He knows he was wrong. Please, for my sake, just let it go. Eleanor begged, her voice frantic. That was it. I was completely done with her. This wasn't about right or wrong anymore. Let me ask you something. We posted my picture online and tried to ruin my life. Where were you? Why didn't you say anything then? And where do you think you got that picture of me? Search your conscience and answer me that. I didn't know what he was going to use the photo for. So you admit it? You just gave it to him, no questions asked. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. Eleanor's voice broke into a sob. I had the only answer I needed. There would be no more mercy. Get lost. From now on, you go your way, and I'll go mine. We don't owe each other anything. I hung up the phone. Then I blocked Eleanor's number and all of her social media accounts. After I did it, a crushing weight settled on my chest. I felt like I couldn't breathe. 5 years of my life, all wasted. I would never be more important to her than Julian. I was a victim of cyberbullying too, but her only call was to beg for mercy for him. Not once did she ask if I was okay. I didn't sleep a wink that night. I went to work the next day, feeling like a zombie. Last night was a glorious victory. Whoa, what happened to you? We won, so why the long face? Marcus, being the heir to the company, didn't really have to work. He had a title and an office, but mostly used it as a place to hang out and kill time with me. I told him about Eleanor's call. Marcus flew into a rage, cursing her out. Sometimes I felt like Marcus and I were two halves of a whole person. Looking back at the recent events, my primary emotion had been sadness, while Marcus had embodied pure, unadulterated anger. A strange thought crossed my mind. Was it me who got dumped, or was it us? Marcus Thorne, are you distracting Ethan from his work again? Serafina Thorne, dressed in a sharp power suit, strode toward us. She was tall, at least, with delicate features and a tiny beauty mark near the corner of her eye. She radiated an intimidating, powerful aura. She grabbed Marcus by the collar like a hawk snatching a chick and pulled him away from my desk. You should learn from Ethan. Stop fooling around all day. If Thorne Industries had to depend on you, we'd be bankrupt in a year. Serafina scolded him without mercy. Marcus, as usual, had a comeback. I was born Thorne. Why don't you work so hard? You only live once. Even kings don't rule forever. If the company is meant to fail, let it fail. You little brat. Who talks about their own family's business like that? The two siblings, not far apart in age, bickered like children. Watching them, I felt a pang of envy. This was what a good relationship looked like. No, sis. I wasn't distracting him, I swear. He just broke up with his girlfriend, and I was worried he might be depressed, Marcus pleaded. What? Ethan, you broke up? Serafina looked at me, her hand flying to her mouth in genuine shock. I nodded, feeling a little awkward. It wasn't exactly something I wanted to broadcast. So, I'm taking him out to a club tonight. We're going to get a table, bottle service, surround him with models, help him find a new meaning in life, Marcus declared. Absolutely not. Those places are disgusting. You can be a degenerate on your own time, but don't you dare drag Ethan down with you. Listen to me. I'll make the arrangements for tonight. I guarantee you'll both have a great time. A breakup calls for a celebration. After all, a sly smile crept across Serafina's face. She whispered the last part, but Marcus and I both heard it. Sis, what kind of thing is that to say? Celebrating someone's breakup? Marcus protested. I'll say what I want. Now shut up, Serafina retorted. I just shook my head, a small smile on my face. Serafina Thorne was a woman of two faces. One was the cold, untouchable CEO. The other was a goofy, talkative woman, just like her brother. If I hadn't gotten to know her, I never would have seen this side. And while the Ice Queen persona was impressive, there was something uniquely captivating about seeing this powerful, elegant woman act so completely out of character. How should I put it? If you know, you know. This was a high-end restaurant I'd never been to before. From the look on Marcus's face, it was new to him, too. Whoa, sis, this is incredible. You've been holding out on us. I tried a dish, and it was genuinely stunning. It wasn't some fussy French cuisine, but incredibly refined traditional American cooking. So what do you think, Ethan? Is it to your liking? Whenever I'm feeling down, good food is my go-to cure, Serafina said. It's amazing, boss. Thanks for this. Once we're out of the office, you don't have to call me boss. Call me something else. I paused, realizing that I had only ever called her boss. There had never been another name. Marcus chimed in, that's easy. We're buddies, just call her sis, like I do. Before I could respond, Serafina shot him down. Don't call me sis. It makes me sound old. I'm only years older than Ethan. I don't like it. 3 years is still older, Marcus Thorne. Do you want to die? Fine, then you tell him what to call you. Marcus's loud challenge seemed to fluster Serafina. A blush crept up Serafina's neck, and she fidgeted for a moment before finally saying, my name. Just my name. In that instant, my heart skipped a beat. Serafina in that moment was overwhelmingly feminine, sparking all sorts of thoughts in my head. Haha. Sis, you're wearing your heart on your sleeve. You brat, shut your mouth. Those two could never stay serious for more than minutes. I figured we were close enough. We were good friends outside of work. Calling her by her first name shouldn't be a big deal. Serafina, I said softly, feeling a little shy. Serafina froze for a second. Her expression didn't change much, but the corners of her mouth curved into a definite smile. On second thought, maybe sis is better. Marcus, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. No one will think you're mute. We had a great dinner, mostly because of the Thorne siblings' company. Without even realizing it, I felt the weight on my chest begin to lift. Ever since I started dating Eleanor, while it hadn't hurt my friendship with Marcus, we definitely saw less of each other. The days of us being inseparable were long gone. While Marcus went to get the car, I ran into Eleanor. She was with her best friend. They must have been there for dinner, too. It had only been a few days, but she looked exhausted and drawn. Ethan? Serafina? As far as Eleanor knew, I was just Serafina's employee. Without Marcus around, there was no reason for the two of us to be out at a fancy restaurant together late at night. It was obvious what she was thinking. Where's Marcus? Eleanor asked, her eyes scanning the area, searching for confirmation. She was destined for disappointment. Marcus was in the parking garage, which was a bit of a walk. He wouldn't be back for a few minutes. What are you two doing here? Eleanor pressed. Isn't it obvious? What else do you do at a restaurant besides eat? Serafina answered before I could. I didn't say a word. I didn't want to. After that night, any positive feelings I had for Eleanor were gone. Just the two of you? Do you see anyone else? That was the last straw for Eleanor's friend. I knew it. Ethan Shun, you really are a piece of trash. So you can just decide you don't love our Eleanor anymore, just like that? Ugh, you're disgusting so low. He didn't throw it away, you did. You had your chance and you blew it. Did you really expect him to wait around for you forever after you broke up? Serafina shot back. Please. The breakup isn't official until Eleanor says it is. It was as if Serafina and Eleanor's friend had become our designated spokespeople. I was silent, and Eleanor just stared at me, her expression unreadable. Actually, I'm his girlfriend now. You got a problem with that? Serafina casually linked her arm through mine. The sight made Eleanor's face drain of color, and her friend looked like she was about to explode. I didn't pull away. I let Serafina lean against me. Eleanor finally broke her silence, her voice low and strained. Why did you block me? Do you really need me to answer that? You know exactly why, I retorted. Now that I was finally talking, Eleanor pressed on. I was trying to tell you that Julian had a complete breakdown, but I couldn't reach you. I couldn't find you. Of course she couldn't. I had moved out of my apartment right after that night. But I was surprised that Julian was that fragile. A single day of online backlash, and he snapped. Wait, a thought occurred to me. Earlier today, Marcus had been acting cagey, saying things that didn't quite make sense. It seemed he'd pulled some strings behind the scenes. If you're trying to pin this on me, go ahead. I don't care anymore, I replied. No, that's not it. I wanted to ask you, can we go back to how things were? Eleanor's eyes were burning with a desperate hope. We can't go back. You made your choice. Serafina gave me a thumbs up. She and her brother really were two peas in a pod. Eleanor's composure finally shattered. Why? Why won't you give me one more chance? How can you be so cruel? Just then, Marcus pulled up to the curb. Serafina, still holding my arm, guided me toward the car. Because once you give someone a chance like that, they'll just keep asking for more. I opened the car door and got in, ignoring the sound of Eleanor's heart-wrenching sobs behind me. To my surprise, Eleanor became relentless. The next morning, she was standing outside the Thorne Industries building wearing a wedding dress. She had even arranged for a massive display of flowers to be set up on the plaza. She stood in the middle of the sea of blooms, not making a sound, just waiting. What the hell is she doing? Proposing to him? Where was this energy the other night? Marcus, ever the hothead, was about to storm downstairs, but Serafina grabbed his arm and stopped him. She shook her head, signaling for him to stay calm. Then she turned to me. Are you going to give in? Without a moment's hesitation, I said no. A satisfied smile spread across Serafina's face, as if she'd gotten the answer she was looking for. Go on then. Down below, a flicker of joy appeared on Eleanor's face. I walked slowly toward her. She remained motionless in the center of the flowers. You finally came, she said, her voice bright with relief. I can't avoid this forever, neither of us can. This whole thing has worn us both down completely. A look of panic crossed Eleanor's face. She knew what my decision was. No, we're not over. I had the dress repaired, and I bought a ring. This time it's my turn to propose to you. I want to marry you. I could see the dress I bought her had been mended, but the scars from where I had cut it were still visible. Some things, once broken, can never be made perfect again, no matter how hard you try. Relationships are no different. It's impossible, Eleanor. I spent years trying to make you forget Julian, and I couldn't. What makes you think getting married would change anything? If 5 years wasn't enough, what makes you think the next 5 will be? A person doesn't get that many year chances in their life. Marriage could never tie down a person like you. Eleanor rushed out of the sea of flowers and threw her arms around me. She held me so tightly it felt like she was trying to merge our bodies into one. She was sobbing uncontrollably, whispering, "I'm sorry," over and over again. I sighed and wrapped my arms around her. "This is the last time I'll ever hug you. From this moment on, we go our separate ways. We owe each other nothing." Her crying intensified, but this time I didn't feel a shred of pity. She seemed to understand that my mind was made up. She stopped talking and just cried silently in my arms. 2 months later, I was finally free from the wreckage of my last relationship. Marcus invited me over to his family's house for dinner. "Ethan, can you do me a favor? Go grab something for me from the third room upstairs." I've been to Marcus's house countless times, but he always lived on the ground floor. I've never been upstairs. I assumed it was just another one of his rooms. The room was surprisingly simple, not at all the lavish decor I expected. It was cozy and warm, a stark contrast to the rest of the mansion. The walls were covered in photographs, all of the same person. A jolt went through me as I realized what I was seeing. Just then, Serafina walked in. She clearly wasn't expecting me to be there. Her eyes widened in shock, and a deep blush instantly spread across her cheeks. "Serafina, I'm so sorry. I didn't know this was your room." I cursed Marcus 1,000 times in my head. That bastard set me up. "So, you know now, the person I've been keeping in my heart?" she asked, her face still flushed. She wasn't angry with me. She had changed the subject, but I knew exactly what she meant. Her words were direct. The person in all the photos on her wall was me. Most of them were of my back, but it was undeniably me. I felt a wave of awkwardness wash over me. After a long moment, I finally managed to stammer, "Serafina, you deserve better." Serafina shook her head. "You are the best. No one is better than you." "How would you know if you don't try?" I asked. "Then let's try," she replied, her voice soft but sure. "Maybe we're a better fit." She looked at me, her eyes full of anticipation, shining with a brilliant light.